Snatched from the green place of many mothers, young Furiosa falls into the hands of a great biker horde led by the warlord Dementus. Sweeping through the wasteland, they come across the Citadel, presided over by the Immortan Joes. As the two tyrants fight for dominance, Furiosa finds herself in a non-stop battle to find her way home. Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, is a 2024 post-apocalyptic action film directed and produced by George Miller, who wrote the screenplay with Nico Latoris. It is the fifth installment of the Miller's Mad Max franchise and the first not focused on series protagonist Max Rocketansi. Instead, acting as both a spin-off prequel to Mad Max Fury Road 2015 and an origin story for the Fury Road character Furiosa, portrayed by Anya Taylor-Joy and Alila Brown in the prequel. The film is grouped into parts. Furiosa plucks an apple for herself. A younger girl tells Furiosa to hurry, but she insists on plucking another for the girl. Furiosa hears a sound and tells the little girl to stay there and be invisible. Furiosa dashes into the forest, hiding from some men. She hides behind a motorbike and cuts off the fuel supply. Before she can damage another bike, one of the men catches her. She skedaddles and blows a whistle for help. The men catch her, break the whistle, tie her to one of the motorbikes and take her away. Furiosa's mother and another woman get on a horse immediately and chase after them. The mother manages to kill one of the men and takes his motorcycle and sniper. She tells the other woman to go back home while she continues the chase. The mother kills the women off one after the other until one is left. The last man standing takes Furiosa into Horde's camp. At the entrance, he tells them he won't speak to anyone except their leader, Dementus. As he rides in, Furiosa injures him badly by jumping off the motorcycle and ripping his throat out with a chain. Another man takes her to Dementus, who questions her. Furiosa refuses to speak. Dementus tells the woman to take her in and care for her. He promises to follow the bike tracks and take her home the following day. In a sandstorm, Furiosa's mother, dressed in the clothes of one of the men she kills, goes to save Furiosa. She kills the other guards, but spares the life of the woman tending to Furiosa after the woman begs and vows to say nothing. Furiosa and her mother escape the camp while the woman alerts Dementus and the men. On the run, sand from the sandstorm clears their tracks. However, Dementus is able to track them with the help of a dog. Furiosa's mother realizes they're being followed. She sets Furiosa on the bike and tells her to continue home while she wades off Dementus and his men. She gives Furiosa a seed to plant when she returns home to protect the green earth. With her sniper gun, Furiosa's mom kills as many as possible but is eventually overpowered and captured. From afar, Furiosa sees this and runs back to see her mother tied up and being tortured. Dementan again asks Furiosa to point him in the direction of their home, but she refuses. He forces her to watch as her mother cries out in pain. On their sojourn, Furiosa lives in a cage under the command of Dementus. She keeps a hard expression and stays mute despite everything going on around her. Smeg, an old man in the cage, offers to teach Furiosa to write, advising her to make herself invaluable so Dementus will take care of her. Dementus and his men go to the citadel of Immortan Joe in an attempt to lay siege and take charge of the citadel. However, Immortan Joe's army counterattacks them and they flee. Dementus then goes to Gasoline City, a fuel factory owned and run by the Citadel. He invades the city and captures the leader there. Dementus requests a meeting with Immortan Joe, which Immortan Joe agrees to. At the meeting, Dementus requests food and water in exchange for gasoline. They negotiate the percentage of the deals, and during the negotiations, Immortan Joe notices Furiosa. He asks Dementus who is she, and he says she's his daughter. Immortan Joe asks Furiosa, and she says she's not his daughter and that Dementus killed her mother. Immortan Joe then includes Furiosa and Dementus' doctor in the deal, promising to increase the percentage of food Dementus will get. Dementus agrees and leaves with his men. Furiosa is taken into the women's chamber and is welcomed by the other wives. She learns quickly that Immortan Joe only needs the woman for breathing purposes. She also notices Rictus, one of Immortan Joe's sons, making advances to her. That night, she shaves her hair and makes a cap with her hair. Late in the night, Rictus comes into the women's lodge and carries Furiosa. He plays with her hair and Furiosa escapes deceitfully. From that moment on, Furiosa disguises as a boy and becomes one of the mechanics. Furiosa manages to hide her identity for a long time. The mechanics build a new truck that is much bigger and better than any one they built. On a delivery run, using the new truck, some outcasts attack them. The guards as well as Furiosa fight relentlessly. In process, Furiosa's head wrap is removed and her identity as a girl is revealed. The driver, Praetorian Jack, and Furiosa are the only survivors of the fight. Furiosa threatens Jack with a gun, but he throws her out. She's left stranded in the middle of nowhere. Jack comes back to tell her that she can be part of his crew. He promises to groom her well for her survival. Furiosa and Jack continue the journey to Gasoline City, now in duress under Dementus' leadership. Dementus sends them to Imotanjo with a time and a location, the Bullet Farm, for a meeting to discuss the terms of their agreement. He refuses to give them any gasoline and they barely leave the city alive. They take the news back to Imotanjo, who sends them back to attack the next day. That night, Furiosa says goodbye to Jack. They set out the next day and Jack gives Furiosa a separate car with enough food, water and fuel. On getting to the Bullet Farm, they walk straight into an ambush, but Furiosa escapes narrowly. She turns her car around, ready to leave, but she goes back to help Jack. She saves him and they drive off. Dementus pursues and catches up with them. He chains Furiosa's injured arm to a car and forces her to watch as his dogs eat Jack as he's tied to a bike and driven in a circle. After some time, Dementus discovers Furiosa has escaped by leaving her arm on the chain. She returns to the Citadel and informs Imotanjo of Dementus' rebellion. This starts a non-stop war between both sides. Furiosa assembles a prosthetic arm and changes her appearance completely. During a debate on who should go after Dementus, Furiosa steals Richter's car and completely drives off. Dementus notices an attack. He orders his men to split in disguise. Furiosa falls for the disguise and gets the wrong person. She sends them all to a better life and begins to search for Dementus, who slips away in a sandstorm. The following morning, Dementus wakes and notices he's been found and spared by someone. Furiosa confronts him and reveals herself to him as the girl whose mother he killed in front of her. Furiosa hits Dementus repeatedly, during which he figures her out and calls her by the nickname he gave her, Little D. He begs to be sent away for good, but she refuses, not wanting his demise to be that simple. The history man, as an unreliable narrator, relays potential ways Furiosa could have ended Dementus' life, from simply shooting him in the head, or dragging him as he did to Jack, or crucifying and burning him like he did to her mother. However, Furiosa captures Dementus and imprisons him at the Citadel, bound to the ground. She uses his living body as fertilizer to grow a peach tree from her mother's seed. Furiosa plucks the first fruit from the tree and takes it to Imotanjo's wife, who we see moments later boarding the war truck. In post-credit scenes, we see the start of Furiosa's journey and scenes, from the movie Mad Max to Road Rage, as they appear to have a connection. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, share, like, and turn on notifications to enjoy more videos like this.